chapter. So second canto, it starts with part A, 1, 2, 3, talks about the superiority of bhakti. So the questions that arose over there, what is the ultimate duty of every person, especially one who is about to die? Now, how many of us know that we are going to die? Everybody knows when we are going to die, but we do not know when. It could be next moment, it could be next decade, it could be next month, next year, 6 years, 10 years, like that. So in Parikshit Maharaj's case, he was fortunate. उसको 7 दिन पहले पता चल गया कि वो मरने वाला है. So rather than panicking, he decided to find out what is the ultimate duty of every person, especially one who is about to die. So this is actually in a way a sarcasm. This applies to all of us because it's not that we are going to be living forever. So what should he hear, chant, remember, and what he should not do? Now, these things, what should he hear? He should chant the holy names of the Lord. Like, these questions keep coming again and again. Even when Bhishma Pitama was lying on the bed of arrows. So at that point of time, Yudhishthira Maharaj came to seek his blessings and seek the knowledge from him because he was a vast encyclopedia. He knew everything about dharma. He's a Mahajana. So the Yudhishthira Maharaj did not say, okay, my dear grandfather, now that I have won this war, tell me how should I enjoy myself. He said, Kim japan muchyate jantur janma samsara bandhanat. What should he chant by which he is able to get out of this vicious cycle of birth and death? Ko dharma sarva dharmanam. Out of all dharma, what is the Shrestha dharma? So then Bhishma Pitama said, this Anantam Purushottam Krishna that is standing in front of you, you should chant his holy names, and I'm going to chant the 1,000 names now. So chant, remember, and what he should not do. What he should not do, he should not become a Grahamedi. Grahastha means leading the life in a Vedic way where everything is referent and controlled. Grahamedi means uncontrolled life. So full day working like donkeys and asses that Prabhupada would mention in his words. And in the night, go and have some sex and go to sleep. So that should not be done. Waste of maithun. That should not be done. So that is how it begins with. And then it says, describe what should be chanted, heard, and remembered. Condemned, attach household life. This is what exactly I was telling about. One should hear and glorify and remember the Supreme Lord. Tasma dekena manasa, Bhagwan satvatam patihi, shrotavya kirtitavyascha, dheyam pujyascha nityada. So in this way, tasmat ekena manasa, with one mindset. Whom you should remember? Bhagwan satvatam patihi. Bhagwan is the master of satvata. Satvata means sadhu, pure souls. Pati means the master. Pati means protector, master. What you should do? Shrotavya, you should listen. Kirtitavyascha, you should sing. Dheyam, you should meditate. Pujyascha, you should do archana. Nityada. Conditions apply. Nityada is the conditions apply. Not that you do once a week. Juma kiya, chalo bas ho gaya, nahi. We have to do it every day. So then this is what happens over here in second canto, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 5. Then Shukadeva Goswami suggested Bhakti Yoga as the ultimate duty, but some sages in that assembly may have different opinion like Jnana, Karma, demigod worship, Yoga, and ultimate duty. So Shukadeva Goswami proves the superiority of Bhakti Yoga. Why do we say that Bhakti Yoga is superior? Because the moment you get into Bhakti Yoga, automatically the selfishness goes away. In the Jnana Khanda, Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Karma Yoga, there is some tinge of self-satisfaction. कि मुझे इसमें कुछ satisfaction चाहिए. But when it comes to Bhakti Yoga, Bhakti means you are not forced to love. You are not forced. You out of choice you fall in love with Krishna, not out of force. It's like, someone puts a gunpoint and say, agree. You might agree. And there are other times when no need for anyone to say, but agreed that Bhakti Yoga is a must. And that is the only way to capture Krishna, because Krishna tells in Bhagavatam 11th canto that any kind of tapasya, charity, dan, tap, mantras and everything, it is all useless because you cannot capture me if it is not done with love. That is the reason it says, Patram phalam toyam yome bhakta prayachati Tadam bhaktya uparitam ashnami prayatatmana. Bhaktya uparitam. With faith, love, and everything. So that's what it says, that ultimately jnana karma. So sometimes people say that upasana yoga is also great. Yes, upasana yoga is great, but it depends upon आप किसकी उपासना कर रहे हो और किस मंशा से कर रहे हो. So upasana can't also, if it is done with the mindset of getting something or just pleasing a demigod, then upasana can't is waste of time. उपासना जो है भगवान की जाती है उनके नामों को लेकर के. So this is what Shukdev Goswami goes on to prove the superiority of Bhakti Yoga. Supremacy of Bhakti over Ashtanga Yoga. So many a times people, they say that in Ashtanga Yoga, Yoginam api sarvesham mad gate nantaratmana. Because they don't reach this particular point. They can see Narayana and Chaturbhuj Narayan form Shankha Chakra Padma Gada. They dhyana vastita tadgatena manasa, they do the dhyana also. But what is missing in that is Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochane. And if there is no love, then it becomes a pure mechanical effort. Ashtanga Yoga also then becomes a huge mechanical aspects of physical asanas and pranayams and all those things. Yam, niyam, very, 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 very kathor, but there is no tinge of love in that. So Bhakti Yoga is all about susukam kartam avyayam. So Virat Swarup as Dharana Acharya for the attached yogi, Paramatma for the Dharana Acharya as unattached yogi, the two paths of merging into the Lord, Shat Chakra Yoga, Karma Mukti. I think, do we need to go into this shloka here? I would suggest yes. We'll do one thing. This particular yoga, at the end of the class, we will take it up. Let's go and work out now. Compares Karma Kand with liberation and rejects it. Attaining Swarga is useless. One does not get happiness because it is perishable. So, this, if you study these things, no Prabhu, the supremacy of Bhakti or Ashtanga Yoga. If you go by chapter number 6 of Bhagavad Gita, the Lord has put it in a nutshell of all these things, and Brahma over here gives it in a more expanded room. So Brahma reviewed the Vedas 3 times and concluded it. So there is no other auspicious path other than Bhakti. So when we say that Brahma reviewed the Vedas 3 times and concluded it, there is a reason that we should also understand that why it should be done. पहली दफा कोशिश करते नहीं समझ में आता है, लेकिन आप कर लेते हो. दूसरी दफा कोशिश करते थोड़ा कुछ समझ में आता है. तीसरी दफा कोशिश करते हो थोड़ा और समझ में आता है. But for Brahma being so pure, he was 78% of the Supreme Lord on the purity levels. For him, 3 was enough. Maybe for us, maybe 30 times, or for us, maybe eternal. That is the reason instruction for us is Satatam Kirtayanto Mam, Ananyas Chintayanto Mam. Nityada. You see the words that comes from Krishna's mouth for us, or Brahma's mouth, or Acharya's mouth. या उनके मुख से क्या आता है कि नित्यम. Even you say Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Because for us 3 times is not enough. We will again tend to forget because we are under the clutches of Maya. So Swarga is useless. One does not get happiness because it is perishable. Well, it is perishable, and the problem is that it is also not permanently you can hold it because the Danavas are always behind it. You see in the history of Puranas, every time when Indra thought that now there is no problem, one Dana will attack and throw him away, and he will be running for his life. And then he will go and pray to his mother Aditi. Then Aditi will request Lord Narayana that please come and protect my children. Then Narayana will come as Upendra and protect the children, or Yada Yada Dharmasya Glanar Bhavati Bharata. Forget it, Swargalok. Bhagavad Gita says, A Brahma Bhuvanaloka Punaravartino Arjuna, Mam Upete to Kaunte Punarjanma na Vidyate. आप ब्रह्मलोक तक भी चले जाओ. ब्रह्मलोक सतलोक is not easy to go. People say, oh, Satlok. No, it's not easy to go. You can't go to America if you want to, unless Trump decides nowadays. Forget going to some other countries. German, you cannot enter. There are so many issues for so many people. So हम तो दूसरे country की बात नहीं कर रहे हैं, हम दूसरे planet की बात कर रहे हैं, which is far superior than Earth as far as ऐश्वर्य is concerned, enjoyment is concerned. तपस्या नहीं है उधर, लेकिन पहुंचने के लिए तपस्या लगती है. So it is perishable. How it is perishable? When the Mahapralaya comes, everything gets submerged in the water. Everything is burnt to death. Then supremacy of bhakti over demigod worship and jnana. Jnana means you will have the knowledge, I am not the body, I am the soul, and there is a super soul. But you don't reach to the conclusion that I should be Jivara Swarupa and Nitya Krishna Das. And as far as demigod worship is concerned, again, those demigods themselves are temporary. Indra himself has a death, Brahma has death. So those who are already having death, how can they give us eternity and happiness? They can give us some temporary solution, some temporary rules can be followed to attain certain goals in life or certain fruits in life. But end of the day, karma kand, demigod worship, jnana kand is insignificant. Jnana destroys the effect of the gunas and brings detachment. And then one takes to the worship of the Lord. Yeah. Akamah sarva kamova moksha kama udaradhi. One is this verse and one is bahunam janmanam ante jnanvan mam prapadyate. So only the knowledge that I am not the body, I am the soul is incomplete knowledge. Aham Brahmasami is another misguided knowledge that I am equal to Krishna or I am Krishna myself after I leave the body. But this particular statement, when it says that jnana destroys the effect of gunas, sattva, rajo and tamo, and brings detachment and one takes to the worship of Lord. The verse particular that is indicated over here is bahunam janmanam ante jnanvan mam prapadyate vasudeva tu sarva iti. Oh my dear Vasudev, Krishna, you are everything. So then the jnana is in the right position. Many a time back, Srila Prabhupada gave in one of his lectures, he spoke about these three aspects very strongly. Karma kand, jnana kand, dhyana kand. And people will say, my work is my worship, Prabhu. I don't have time to go to the temple and pay some obeisances or give some charity. ये सब हम नहीं करते, मंदिर का धंधे का काम है. हम तो अपना काम को ही अपना वर्शिप मानते हैं. My work is my worship. So ऐसे में Prabhupada, being Prabhupada, he said, yeah, quote them this verse from Bhagavad Gita. Yat karoshi, yad ashnashi, yad juhoshi, dadashi yat tapasyashi kaunteya, tat kurushva madarpana. Karma. Whatever action you do, whatever you give away, whatever charity you give, whatever food you eat, whatever activities you do, whatever austerity you do, whatever tapasya do, tat kurushva madarpanam. So if the karma yogi is too smart and says that, Prabhu, this is what it is, tell them the Krishna's instruction is this. Dhyana yoga, Ashtanga yoga. So he says that this is the right way. But what is the right way? How to do that in the right way is Yoginam api sarvesham, 647. Madgate nantaratmanaha. Shraddhavan bhajate yoma. Seeing my chavi within the heart, Shraddhavan bhaj, like Dhruv Maharaj. Samay yukta tato mata. Means, wo mere se yukt ho gaya, he gets connected. So this is for the dhyana yogi. Abhi jnana yogi, jnani. There is a difference between jnani and jnanvan. Jnani is the continual process which is not completed yet. Jnanvan means now that you have completed the knowledge. Vedanta, Siddhanta, Jnanvan. So what is the definition? Jnanvan mam prapadyate. Oh Krishna, you are everything. But then Krishna says, Sam Atma Sudurlabha. ऐसे बहुत कम लोग मिलते हैं भैया. ऐसे बहुत कम लोग मिलते हैं. So that is the reason. Yes, it brings detachment because you get frustrated by the materialistic way of life. And then Shaunaka inspires Sukha Goswami to speak more about describing our unfortunate situation of non-devotees. Shaunaka requests to speak more about conversation of Parikshit Maharaj and Sukadeva Goswami. So, a Vaishnava is always a Paradukha Dukhi. Vaishnava is always a Paradukha Dukhi. So, for the sake of non-devotees who don't care for the devotees, Shaunaka Rishi is telling, please describe more about the glories of Bhakti Yoga. So then what happens? Next is, we are in the canto number, second canto, chapter 4, Sarga Visarga through conversation of Brahma and Narayana. So Parishit, explain me the details of Sarga and Visarga. So Sarga is in a primary creation and Visarga is secondary creation. The primary creation of giving the 23 elements in the form of Mahatattva is done by Lord Narayana. And then once that Mahatattva is done, and then from the lotus stem of Lord Narayana comes Brahma, he is empowered with knowledge for Vedas. And then he starts creating the or rather building as an engineer. So Brahma you can technically term as a creative engineer, a production engineer, a erection engineer, a creative engineer who has been given empowerment, knowledge, and resources so that the jivas can go into that necessary locus and start working from there, changing their karmas. So Narada expresses conviction and doubt about the supremacy of Brahma. Brahma destroys the false conviction by establishing the true status of the Lord and himself. Narada asks questions. So until that time, everybody feels that Brahma is the creator. When I was coming back from Chandigarh to Gujarat last week, so in the railway train when we talk, people talk on many subjects. So group हो जाता है क्योंकि 20 घंटे 22 घंटे बैठने होते हैं. That's the beauty of traveling in the railways actually. प्रचार के लिए अच्छा माध्यम है. So one gentleman, he was keeping on because he himself was an atheist. He does not believe in God. He says there is nothing like as God. So then he started talking about Brahma. He says Brahma is the supreme creator, but nobody उनकी पूजा करते हैं बोल के. I told him पुष्कर में पूजा होती है. बोला एक ही जगह में. बोला और भी कई जगह में है. तो कितनी जगहों में? मैं बोला जितनी भी जगह में पूजा होती है. आपका प्रॉब्लम क्या है अभी? He said no, nobody respects him. I said no, the people respect him. But the only thing is that he's not popular. So then if he is the creator, then why he should not be respected? I said, he's not the main creator. He's a secondary creator. Primary creator is Vishnu. He said, that we didn't know. I said, as an atheist, you're not expected to know also. And then after that, he sat quiet and he listened. So that is the time we just gave him this answer. So it's like, Narada expresses conviction and doubts about the supremacy of Brahma. Because Narada also sees that his father is closing his eyes and meditating on somebody. Lord Shiva also closes his eyes and meditates on somebody. Durga or Parvati also under the instruction of someone is working. So at that point of time, Brahma very humbly destroys the false conviction by establishing the status of the Lord and himself. And Narada asks the 6 questions. So the question begins with characteristics of universe, shelter of the universe, creator of the universe, ingredients of the universe, where does it merge in destruction, what does it depend on? So these are the 6 questions over here, characteristics of the universe. So then the answers are elements, karma, kala, swabhav, jiva are non-different from Vasudev. This universe is the form of Vasudev. That is the reason it is also called Vasudev Kutumba. Krishna is the master of the Ashtavasus. So that's what it is mentioned over there. So it says that elements means earth, water, air, fire, ether, karma, actions, kala. So this is something very close to swabhav means the nature. This is very close to the Bhagavad Gita talks about 5 topics: karma, kala, jiva, ishvara, and prakriti. So same elements are being spoken over here by Brahma. And swabhav is very, very important because we can be sattvagun, rajagun, or tamagun. So swabhav over here means that we should be very careful to cultivate knowledge and get to the sattvagun. Next, it talks about shelter of the universe. Narayana is the shelter. Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavam, Purusham Pa, Shashvatam Devyam, Adi Devam Ajam Vipum. Parabrahma, Supreme, Param Dhama, the supreme shelter. And then there is another verse given by Brahma, Samashritaya Pada Pallava Plava, Mahat Padam Punya Yasho Murare. The lotus feet of Narayana himself is the shelter of everyone. So that shelter is Narayana. Then the creator of the universe, description of the creator of element, the Lord binds these elements and enters into them. The beauty is that when you see that there is a reversal of the annihilation, when the universe is annihilated in the 12th canto, they show earth is devoured by water, water is devoured by fire, fire is devoured by air, air is devoured by ether, and ether is devoured by false ego. So this is how the creation takes place. So बाहर भी ऐसे ही आता है एक एक elements, and these all elements are very anti-natural to each other. Like if you go to see earth and water, they are somewhat okay, but water and fire, impossible. Fire and air are somewhat okay. Air and ether, it is impossible. But by Krishna's energy, these elements are bound together so that the system can work. So the Lord is both material and the cause of effective cause of the universe. For this particular verse, I would suggest you to read Bhagavad Gita 9.4, Maya tatam idam sarvam, mad avyakta murtina, mad sthani sarva bhutani, na chaham teshav avastitaha. So it's very clearly mentioned over here that the Lord is both. Actually, the material is also the Lord and spiritual is also Lord, because when we use the word Vishnu, Vishnu means what? You have heard this statement, Kan Kan mein Bhagwan, in every atom there is God. So Vishnu ka Vishwa is the universe, and Anu means atom. One who is into the atom of this universe is called Vishnu, ya Vishwa ka Anu. Yeah. So the Supreme Lord, so Brahma substances from his own experience that Supreme Lord is the material cause. Yes, he is the cause of everything. Because when as Mahavishnu he is lying down in the casual ocean, and the moment he desires to create, भगवान की इच्छा शक्ति जागृत हो जाती है. इच्छा शक्ति से क्रिया शक्ति एक्टिवेट हो जाता है. क्रिया शक्ति से काल शक्ति सामने आ जाता है. और फिर उसके बाद में the creation starts between Uma and Shiva consummating by each other, and then the Shivling comes into existence, and then Brahmadev starts creating the bodies given by the Mother Durga. So he is the material cause. Where does it merge on destruction? महाविष्णु. So जैसे कि मैंने रिवर्सल आपको बताया कि कैसे रिवर्स होता है, एक के बाद एक जो है रिवर्स में सब एलिमेंट्स चले जाते हैं. Then you have Mahatattva. Then in that there is false ego is there. There is other aspects of. I'll show you. Just a minute. I'll make a presentation and show you that one. I have a presentation for that. How it reverses. What does it depend on? Narayana. Again, it dependence on everything is on Narayana. Brahma describes the various incarnations of the Lord and Supersoul. He established the superiority of Bhagwan. Request Narad to expand and decimate Srimad Bhagavatam. So if you go to see, Srimad Bhagavatam was actually spoken as Chatushloki. It was expanded by under the instruction of Narad Muni to Vyasadev, and Vyasadev to his son Shukdev Goswami. So this Chatushloki, you'll see, first it was spoken by Ananta to the four Kumaras in Talatala, Rasatal area. So the four Kumaras, they started from Brahmalok and they used Janvi. And from Janvi, they reached to earth. In earth, they were in Ganga. And then Ganga, when it goes to Ganga Sagar in West Bengal, from there she goes to the Patal Lok as Bhogavati. So we had the international navigation system, interplanetary systems rather, not international. Interplanetary system navigation system works with Mandakini comes from Brahma's Kamandalu, which he had filled the water of casual ocean when Trivikrama cracked the universe and the casual ocean washer came. So Mandakini comes from there. The moment she comes to Bhulok, she becomes Ganga. Then she flows to West Bengal and she goes to Ganga Sagar. So from Ganga Sagar, she does not actually merge into the sea. From there, she goes down. And she's called Bhogavati in the nether worlds of the, below the earth. So there, the four Kumaras, starting from Brahmalok, they went to Ananta. And Ananta gave them this Chaturshloki Bhagavatam. So Parikshit reveals his enthusiasm for the topics about Krishna and asked 21 questions to Sukdev Goswami. Sukdev Goswami answered some question through Brahma Lord conversation, others through Vidura and Maitreya. So how did the spiritual soul attain a material body? So the spirit soul attained the material body. That is when we decided to be Ichha dvesha sabuttena dvanda mohena bharata sarvabhutani sammoham sarge yanti parantapaha. So at that point of time, इच्छा क्या है कि I should be like Krishna. द्वेष क्या है? I cannot become like Krishna. So hate Krishna. So then we become suffered with aham. What is this aham mameti? Ishwaroham aham bhogi siddhoham balvan sukhi. I am the master of everything. I am perfect. I am the enjoyer and I am the owner. Rest everyone are subservient to me and I am the supreme. So that misconception leads us to come and take the body in the material world. So on the Lord's material and spiritual form, the Lord's spiritual form existed before the creation. So what is that beautiful verse? That the Lord's spiritual form existed before the creation. Kararabindena padarabindam. Mukharabindena viniveshayantam. Vatasya patrasya pute shayanam. Balam mukundam manasa smarami. Maitre Muni is saying that. Markandeya Muni, sorry. In that entire causal ocean where everything was submerged and nothing was there, no sun, no moon, no Brahma, no Vishnu, no Mahesh, this Bala Mukundam was there on a Vatasya Patrasya floating and with a foot thumb in his mouth, and he was just enjoying that. Even after the destruction, the universe is his material form. So the material form is the Vishwa Virat Swarup that he shows sometimes. How do the Lord's different energy works? Activities of Mahamaya and Yogamaya. So now see, Krishna is, what you say, surrounded by so many, what you say, energies. Aladini Shakti, Samvit Shakti, Sandhini Shakti. Aladini Shakti is Radharani. She is the source of everything. Sandhini and Samvit Shakti is the source from Balram. And then you have Tushti, Pushti, Kanti, Ishan, Ishaniya. There are so many Shaktis. Satya Sankalpa Shakti, Karuna Shakti, Ichha Shakti, Kala Shakti, Kriya Shakti. So many Shaktis are there. And these all are divided either into Mahamaya or Yogamaya. When it is in the working in the material world, it is under the Mahamaya. When in the spiritual world, it is activated under Yogamaya. Technically, there is no difference between the energy. Energy is the same. It's only depending upon your mindset, she changes her appearance. If you are anti to Krishna, she becomes Mahamaya Durga and she attacks you and she corrects you. But if you are subservient to Krishna, she comes as Radharani and accepts you in the service of Krishna. So the Lord's pastimes in relation to his energies are the Chaturshloki Bhagavatam. So the Lord remains detached from the pastimes related to material world and attached to the pastime related to spiritual world. That is what Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita also, that Maya tatamidam sarvam jagad avyakta murtinam matstani sarva bhutani na chaham teshavasita. Everything is in me, but I am not in them because I am in the spiritual world. So there he stays with Srimati Radharani and his entourage, and time and again he comes to the material world to give a fallen soul like us an opportunity to redeem ourselves and go back to Godhead. Guidance to carry out the service without pride and bondage. So Chaturshloki Bhagavatam, the best sadhana for attaining the Lord is bhakti. Because once again, as I said, that for us to progress in bhakti, other than chanting, we should read Bhagavatam every day. Because Bhagavatam is the mool essence. It is the nurturer of your chanting. When your chanting is good, it means your Bhagavatam study is good. When your Bhagavatam study is good, your chanting is good. The good chanting will remove your anartha nivrittis and make you more strong in Krishna consciousness. Dhrida sankalpa aa jayega. So that is very, very important. और उसके करने के लिए इन अहंकार होना बहुत बुरी बात है, because that it says that without pride there should be no pride in the service of Krishna. Brahma bhuta prasannatma na kshochati na kankshati sama sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhakti labate param. So the best sadhana for attaining the Lord is bhakti, because Krishna says that aham bhakta paradino. So how the universe arose from the universal form? Sarga, the creation of the Virat Swarup. Now this exactly, when you speak about how the universe arose from the universal form, from the head to the top to bottom. I'll send you one picture actually. Just a minute, I'll send it right away. I think I had shared it once, I'm not sure. I've sent it in the group. So this is the universal temporary form of Krishna, which is also divine, but temporary. It is not permanent. He just produces it when it comes. So all your elements of this creation, the 24 elements of the Mahatattva is there in this. Just a minute. Share. Yeah. So ideally speaking, we have completed all the 10 chapters only in this question answer. Thanks to Darshan Prabhu. Now from here, where do we go, Prabhu? Should we go into the shlokas that we were deciding to go on?
So individual shlokas, if we take, it may take a very long time.
Yeah. So
if there is any concept you think may be a bit complex and needs a little more explanation, maybe you can do that. Or if others have any questions, maybe we can take that.
we can go question based also, because see, they can see what is happening in this. What do you say? So here all the verses are also there. So suppose by reading this, if they have a doubt, we can dive into that area and check what Srila Prabhupada has mentioned over there. Because this is just overview, so that whatever we did in last 2 years, it just comes to the mind that this is what we studied. But there could be some technicalities which they want to understand. It will be the right time for us to do that, Prabhu.
Sure, Prabhu, sure.
Prabhuji, I just got one query just now when we were discussing, when you were mentioning about Vishnu. Like you mentioned Vishwa and Anshu, like basically meaning that God is there in every atom of this universe, right?
Yeah.
So we are like a little bit confusion is that means in every soul there is
a super soul. With
super
every
soul.
soul, there is a super soul. Yeah.
There is God, basically.
Yeah, God is there with us.
Okay.
In the form of Paramatma.
I think your question was in every soul may not be the correct word.
Not in every soul.
Along with every
soul.
So along with meaning like it is okay.
No,
it's a
just
support.
Yeah. See, it's not a support. He is the observer, dear. The super soul or Paramatma is the observer and the sanctioner of all our desires and activities. It is like, in the Purana, in the Upanishads, they say that there are 2 parrots sitting in the tree. One is eating the fruit of the tree and other is just watching at him. So the one who's watching is the Paramatma, is taking into account all the activities that the soul is doing. So the soul is one parrot, which is Atma, which is us, is enjoying the fruits of the karma. And he's showing his back towards the Lord. He's not interested to know what is the real goal of life. And the Paramatma is patiently waiting and looking at him that someday when he will turn around, I will take him back to God and back with me. So same way, the Lord comes as Karanodakshaya Vishnu, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and Shirodakshaya Vishnu. 3 Vishnus. Karanodakshaya Vishnu or Mahavishnu is the Paramatma of this whole material world. Garbhodakshaya Vishnu is the Paramatma of one Brahmand. And Shirodakshaya Vishnu is the Paramatma of every atom. Kan kan mein Bhagwan. Sarvavyapi, all pervading. So that is the reason Vishnu is the Tattva. Vishnu it can be a name, but Vishnu is also an element or Tattva. It means that personality who is everywhere. That is the reason when Prahlad was questioned by his father, where is your Vishnu? He said, everywhere. Where everywhere? He says, he's there in you, he's there in me, he's there in the atom. Is he there in this pillar? Yes, he's in the pillar. Okay, I will break the pillar and see if he is there. But because of the conviction of Prahlad Maharaj, the Lord appeared from the pillar. So कण कण में भगवान जो है वो प्रहलाद महाराज ने सबको सिखाया, and the Lord favored him by accepting to come from the pillar and shown that I am everywhere. Like air is everywhere, God is everywhere. So उसको बोलते हैं हर जगह में भगवान का अस्तित्व होना.
Okay.
Just for the sake of Uday Prabhu, what the verse that Radhapada Pankaj Prabhu was talking, this is the verse in Bhagavad Gita. So he talks about the role of Paramatma. He exists as the Upadrashta Anumanta,
Yeah.
the overseer and permitter, who is known as the super soul.
You know, there are times, sometimes people speak in retro also, Prabhu, in this. You know, when he is the overseer and the permitter. So a question was asked to His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. If Draupadi was such a great devotee of Krishna, how could Duryodhan instruct his brother and brother could touch Draupadi's vastra? This should not be sanctioned by the Lord. So the answer Maharaj gave was, he said, when you think once, when you think twice, when you think thrice on such things, the Paramatma from within will tell you that don't do this. आप कभी कभी बोलते मेरी अंतरात्मा बोल रही है कि ये नहीं करना है. Actually, वो अंतरात्मा is the Paramatma. But when you are hell-bent on doing something, then the Lord says, okay, you do and then you face what comes. So though she being a pure devotee, the Lord eventually protected her. But after that, the entire Kuru dynasty was wiped out. So many a times people say that अगर भगवान के मर्जी के बगैर पत्ता नहीं हिलता तो क्या होता है, लेकिन भगवान की मर्जी में हमारी मर्जी होनी चाहिए. Our desire should be in line with Krishna's desire. But when it is not in with Krishna's desire, initially he will not permit, but end of the day, then he will say, okay, you proceed and you face what is going to come now. And that is where the karma phala comes. And then we start to suffer or enjoy whatever it is. So we have to be very careful in having desires also. Otherwise, it can be very disastrous. So desires should be controlled. And that is the reason our acharyas, they have given us sadhana bhakti, ado shraddha, tata sadhu sant, tata bhajana kriya, tata anartha nivritti. Because we have so much anarthas in our life. So slowly and steadily, we have to work on a very strong level, wherein the desires have to be in line with Krishna's desire or Guru's desire. So then you are safe and your progress is nice and you don't get hindrance. I don't say that you will not have monetary problems or health problems. Those karmas will always be there because, you have switched off the fan, but the inertia of the fan is still running. But end of the day, by surrendering to the Lord and taking up bhakti yoga, the way as our acharyas have instructed, it will always be positive.
Hare Krishna. Anybody, any other question?
Jai Govind Prabhu, anything from your side, dear? Some inputs, please.
Prabhuji, from my side again, there's not a question. Basically, when we were talking of devotional service, so one key thing which we were learning is to basically surrender, and one more thing is to do and leave the results. Don't expect results, basically.
Yeah.
So, like from any service, like when you are doing any work at an office or you're generally doing any other material related work. Okay, so you're doing it definitely with some expectation, right? How do we give up that expectation? Like when I go to office, I'm expecting a salary.
Actually, because you are getting the salary, you are working over there, Prabhu.
Yeah.
It is confirmed that you will get X amount at the end of the month, regardless of what your input or output is, which will be monitored over a period of time. And accordingly, judgment will be taken whether you deserve that salary or not, or whether you have an hike in that. Okay.
Yeah.
That is how it is. Now, this point we all have gone through and we are still going through, Prabhu, because karma is done in the mode of Rajogun, because it's done in the mode of passion. So passion perpetuates results. Since it's not a spiritual place to work, it is a material place to work. And as the time goes by, you will start thinking that, oh, I worked so hard, but nothing has happened to me. They are not looking into my promotion, or they are not increasing my salary, or I am underpaid over here. Should I change for a new job? All these things, Prabhu, it takes a lot of time, determination, and conviction that karmanyavadikaraste mahaphaleshu kadachana. Easier said than done. But still, I have seen people like I recollect in our own Shivala Prabhu's case, when he was working as the director of the company, and they intended to upgrade him. Correct me if I'm wrong. It was from senior manager to director or director to vice president. I don't know.
It's a
So
senior
now
manager to vice president.
vice president, right? Yeah. So it was a matter for him to accept it, but he went to his Guru Maharaj and he said, Guru Maharaj, this is what the situation is. What should I do? Now, how many of us would go to a guru and ask? That is one question. I leave it to the individual person. And then Guru Maharaj said that if it is affecting your devotional service, then you may reconsider whether you want to take it or not. But if going there you think it is better off, then you should take it. Now, this is how a leader sets an example for the followers. So in some cases it is that way. In some cases, the people, they work on a level and decide that whatever comes, I'm happy with that. I'm not striving for anything hard. But since I'm being paid for it, I should be honestly working and do it as a duty. That is in the mode of goodness. At least you can bring it to the mode of goodness and leave it, that whatever comes, comes, whatever goes, goes. Last but not the least, in my own personal experience, I'll tell you that we had a system where we were supposed to be in a certain grade, but the department had decided such grades are not required for my department, and he just closed that grade. And the loss was close to 4,000 to 5,000 dirhams a month. That's huge. And we were there stuck for 5 years. What could you do? Because the person who was sitting over there was never convinced that you did deserve it. So he did not did it for one person, he did it for everybody. After the person left, a few things happened, and automatically one fine day, the upgraded came with everything and they said, this is yours. So how do you justify that now? Without asking, the promotion and increment came, and when you were deserving, you didn't get it. So this is all very finely, governed by Mother Durga, who is the material world in charge. She is the superintendent over here. And the karma phalas are very difficult to understand, Prabhu. But end of the day, if you desire for it, if you don't get it, and if you're getting sad about it, I would say that that is not a very sensible, that's not a very sensible way to work, especially when you are chanting and doing so many things. It should be that way. Yes, it is tough, Prabhu. I don't say it is easy, but then we are all trying to be devotees, and devotees have to work on that level.
Thank you, Prabhuji. But I think I somehow find it very mixed.
So
Basically,
it will be mixed. Okay, let me put it this way. What is it that you are aspiring to gain? Any,
so
say,
basically, whenever we go to office, I don't know how much of us would have given up saying that I just go to the office to just do what for that day and not expect anything beyond it.
because that kills the motivation to work, right?
Yes. So you every time aspire for, okay, I should be basically complimented, or uh, I should have some increment. I should get what I am worth it. So every time we feel that, okay, we are underpaid or we are overpaid or whatever, every time there is an that when the moment you go into that life, you give up
That
anything
comparison is there,
spiritual.
no?
Anything
Because the people
spiritual is
around
not
you
there.
also talk like that. People around you
Yeah.
also talk like
Yeah, and nothing spiritual there can come up into your mind at that point in time to tell that, yeah, whatever is being done, I don't bother. I am more focused towards spiritual or devotional service, and I am just here for whatever comes my way is my.
But Prabhu, I'll request you one thing. These 3 points that you made is fantastic. Could you write it on a piece of paper and stick it in your office and try doing it for 7 days at least? Believe me, I did that and I was successful.
Yeah, like, yeah, I keep thinking of it, but every time
So you do it because
somehow.
there are things, Prabhu, because the Lord will help you, Prabhu. Uh,
Okay.
I know it is difficult, but sadly speaking, there are times when you feel you should be actually, what you say, complimented, but it doesn't happen. And the time when you're doing that, nothing is happening, suddenly you get complimented. Then that time you should be bold enough to say, what good I did that I'm being complimented here now. But it happens. How the karma phala works, it's very difficult, Prabhu. Like, see, I'll tell you, an unfortunate incident happened where one of my colleagues passed away and the entire department came under me. So I had 2 departments to take care and I had more than 12 portfolios. In my entire career, I never had so much stress in my life. And I successfully did that. My senior manager recommended me for a star performer. And you see what happens next. The very next day, the HOD changed and a new guy came. He struck it. He said, nothing for this year. Send it for a toss. Now, somebody who has worked for 12 portfolios in a year, you understand what it is. But nothing came. And 3 years before that, when I was doing nothing, sitting just, in Marathi we say Rikam Tekada. And I was given the star performer of the year, best employee of the year. So it's very weird, Prabhu. I do not know how to say this, but it's better that you go do your job and leave it to Krishna. Karmanyavadi karaste mafaleshu kadacha. That's it. I think Subal Prabhu can add a few more things.
Prabhu, with your kind permission, if I can just give an example. And
Yeah,
again,
please, please.
you were mainly responsible for giving this knowledge to me. So Uday Prabhu, meaning there was a time when I was quite disturbed and I had approached Prabhu with respect to the career prospects. I was thinking there can be a kind of a redundancy drive in my company and that can impact my job. So Prabhu first told me that, don't worry, nothing will happen. Krishna will take care of. But then he also suggested that we'll look at certain charts and all that. So Prabhu looked at it and then he told me that at least for the next 6 to 8 months, there is nothing like this in your stars. And Prabhu also gave me some textual description about what's expected to happen in each and every month. And in one of the months, it was mentioned that your manager will start appreciating your work and you will become important for him, something like that. And that is what made me realize that whatever we do, especially in our professional life, the way it is supposed to be perceived by the other person is also under the control of Krishna. So when we talk about our pay hikes or promotions and all that stuff, we may think that we may be doing excellent work, but that doesn't necessarily mean it has to translate into promotion or pay hikes. Whether we deserve it or not, based on our previous karma, what the other person should think of us as our output about us and everything is also under the control of Krishna. So that was a good lesson for me.
No, that is Prabhu because it came from my own personal life like that, In 2015, I went for Guru Maharaj Vyas Puja because now this has become a bit professional. But how I am telling you, it is getting connected to our spiritual life because professional life भी थोड़ा हम लोग को hit करता है. So I went to Kanjipuram, which we did the darshan of the Lord. So Vardharaj song. Vardharaj means bestower of Vardhan. I just prayed to the Lord. I said, my dear Lord, there is few things which has been stuck for many years, but I don't know how to go about it. But if you deem it's okay, kindly bless. Otherwise, I might feel that this is what I am deserving. And I just utna pray karke nikal gaya. I didn't ask for it that my promotion is stuck and this and that. I come back from vacation. I'm standing in the car park. My ex-boss comes and sees me local. He said, Rohit, what are you up to? I said, nothing, sir. Okay, come and see me in my office. I said, your office? Yes, I'm your ex-boss. I want to talk to you. Out of the blue, he called me to HR. How many of us standing in a car park of your company would reach an HR office? That was the director of the HR, HOD. And then he spoke to me for some time. He said, what grade you are in? I said, I'm in grade so and so. No, you should be in so and so. I said, no. He checked the system. It was down. He said, I'll speak to your boss. Picked up the phone, spoke to my boss. And in 3 days, Prabhu, without budget, the entire thing came to me. And with that, when I thanked them, an apology letter comes from the HOD of DP World. Nevertheless, it was a mistake on our side. But bygones be bygones, enjoy your promotion. Which director that to a local will write to an expatriate Hindu this word? Please tell me, Prabhu. Or within India also. We were shell shocked. And the increment was, I'll give you in figures, it was 6,200 dirhams total. Straight. So then I told Varadaraj Swami, I said, you know what to do and how to do, and you know how to pull the strings. Otherwise, which local will come and tell you that come and see me in my office, standing in the car park? But the way the Lord works, so after that, from 2015 to 2024, I never looked back thinking that I should get, or I just went, did my job and come, whether they appreciate or don't appreciate. In fact, after doing 12 projects, you know what my boss did to me, the head of the department? He opened a fraud case against me that I took some money. So what do you say now? And we had a fraud interrogation for more than 16 hours. But there also,
yeah, my thing was not what we deserve won't come to us, Prabhuji. I am completely convinced that anything which happens to us in life definitely happens with some cause, and it is not in our control. It is definitely in somebody else's control. In this case, not in this case, we all know that there is somebody supreme who is the real controller, and that I 100% believe in that, and I from very long time I believe that what is due to us will definitely happen, and what is not due to us will definitely not happen, whatever you do. But the only thing for me every time my contention is about the whatever we are doing in terms of daily working or doing anything, everything is materialistic. So I'm just trying to connect that materialistic to devotional service. So that connection definitely many times it doesn't happen at all. Anytime when you try to do anything materialistic, there is definitely an outcome which is perceived or which is required. I am doing this for this. I am doing this for this. So somehow I'm not able to connect most of the materialistic that we are doing towards devotional service.
but one thing what you do is, once you do it for doing this, end of the day, your fruits come in the form of the salary, right? Salary is the
Yes.
fruit of 30 days work. So from that
Yeah.
salary, you offer something to the Lord, your kriya is connected, everything is connected. Yat karoshi, yad ashnashi, yad joshi. So you are anyway doing that, but you are not getting the connectivity. Connectivity will come because of the salary that you get to purify that. When you do a charity or when you keep something for the Lord and then do something for the Lord, automatically that bhava will come that, okay, whatever the fruits of my hard work, Krishna has accepted it, and you'll start feeling happiness, Prabhu. I'm sure you must be doing it, but get connected to that area. Okay?
Yeah.
Prabhu, one question.
Yeah.
प्रभु नॉर्मल बैलेंस में हर आदमी यही बोलता है इफ यू हैव नॉट डन गुड डीड्स और पुण्य वॉट एवर इट इज एंड समहाउ द आवर पाप कर्म्स आर मोर देन आपको 84 लाख योनियों में घूमना पड़ेगा तो ये क्या 84 कि 84 में जाना पड़ता है या कुछ, मतलब व्हाट एग्जैक्टली इज दिस? बिकॉज हमेशा हमने यही सुना है, अब तो थोड़ा जब से कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस में आए हैं तो थोड़ा समझ में आने लगा है कि भाई आपको 84 लाख योनियों में घूम कर आए हो तो आपको मनुष्य जीवन मिला है। तो
Yeah, that's सो 84 लाख योनि में घूमकर आने के बाद मनुष्य योनि मिला है। ओके,
हाँ जी,
या
हाँ जी,
दैट्स राइट।
हाँ जी, हाँ जी।
तो भगवत गीता में भगवान क्या बोलते हैं कि जो सत्व गुण में काम करता है वो देवी देवताओं के बीच में पैदा होता है, जो रजोगुण में काम करता है मनुष्य के बीच में पैदा होता है, और जो तमोगुण में काम करता है वो पशु योनि में जाके पैदा होता है। सो अगर आप तमोगुणी नहीं हो एंड यू आर मैनेजिंग योर सत्व एंड रजोगुण बैलेंस में थोड़ा बहुत, so there is a good chance that you will not fall down and you will take birth again as a human being. And from there, प्राप्य पुण्य कृताम लोका अनुषित्व शाश्वती समा सुचिनाम श्रीमताम गे योगो भ्रष्ट अभिजाय थे, वो हो जाएगा। लेकिन अगर हम लोग मनुष्य योनि में रह करके संपूर्ण तमोगुणी का काम करते हैं, मतलब ब्रेकिंग ऑल फोर रेगुलेटिव प्रिंसिपल्स, लिविंग अ वेरी हॉरिबल लाइफ, एबॉमिनेबल लाइफ, तब तो फिर भगवान बोलते हैं इसको मनुष्य योनि देख के फायदा नहीं है, पूरा 84 लाख में घूम कर आने दो। या So then we should understand that as a human being, it is our duty to act in an appropriate way which suits the human body. हम्म? क्या लगता है आपको?
नहीं, आई इट अपील्स कि भी।
84 लाख योनि में तभी जाएंगे जब भी आप संपूर्ण तमोगुण लाइफ जिएंगे, जो कि हमारे भगवत गीता के चैप्टर 17 में बताया गया है कि किस प्रकार से मोड्स ऑफ मटेरियल नेचर के ऊपर जो है उसको आप स्टडी करोगे तो आपको पता चलेगा कि किस प्रकार की योनि में जन्म मिलता है मनुष्य को, किस प्रकार के कर्म करने से। और जब पता चल गया तो यू फॉलो द शास्त्र एंड ट्राई टू बी इन सत्व गुण एज मच एज पॉसिबल। सो देन 84 लाख योनि का तो केस ही खत्म हो जाता है। एंड जब भी आप गुरु के आश्रय में चले जाते हो और गुरु सब संप्रदाय में परंपरा वक्त आता है, तो देन इट बिकम्स मोर व्हाट यू से फ्रूटफुल टू गो बैक टू गॉड। हमको 84 लाख योनि सोचना ही क्यों है प्रभु?
नहीं, मैं ये समझना चाह रहा था प्रभु कि क्या ये जो उधर गया तो ये सारी योनियों में करने के बाद ही वो मनुष्य का जीवन मिलेगा?
या दैट इज कॉल्ड नेचुरल एवोल्यूशन ऑफ द वैदिक सिस्टम। जैसे कि डार्विन ने बोला कि 1 सेल बिकेम 100 सेल्स, 1000 सेल्स, डबल सेल्स, ये सेल वो सेल, एम्फीबिया एंड ऑल। इट वाज नॉट दैट वे। इट इज द नॉट द सोल इटसेल्फ वाज ब्रेकिंग, सेल इटसेल्फ वाज ब्रेकिंग, इट इज द सोल विच इज ट्रांसमाइग्रेटिंग। तो जब भी सृष्टि की रचना जब होती है तो सृष्टि की रचना के समय सर्टन व्हाट यू से सोल्स विल गो इनटू एम्फीबियन, और फिर वो स्लोली स्लोली स्लोली, इसके लिए बोलते हैं कि जीव हत्या नहीं करनी चाहिए। जब आप जीव हत्या करते हो तो आप उसका प्रोग्रेस को रोक देते हो। ऐसा ऐसा कहा जाता है कि समझो अभी एक मुर्गी को काट के खाना है, तो मुर्गी को जब काट दिया तो वो पुनः उसी मुर्गी के योनि में आती है, फिर वो ऊपर जाती है, तो इट्स बिकम्स अ स्टॉपेज फॉर देम। सो यू शुड नॉट डू दैट। तो 84 लाख योनि इट टेक्स लॉन्ग लॉट ऑफ टाइम। But now that you have come to the human life, don't think about that. You have already gone through that process. So what you could do next is how not to go back over there.
या
How I reach there, that's immaterial because you have already crossed everything and here you are sitting, studying Krishna conscious books, doing so many things.
तो
थैंक यू, थैंक यू।
तो वो जो कपिल मुनि ने देवहूति को जो इंस्ट्रक्शंस दिए है ना, उसमें इन थर्ड कैंटो 29th चैप्टर में फ्रॉम वर्स 28 से लेके 33 तक he has talked about the hierarchy of living entities based on their level of consciousness.
Consciousness.
So that actually determines the way a person, a soul, degrades or upgrades himself based on different types of living entities. So
You can put it on the chat, Prabhu. The verse
हाँ,
numbers
मैं
that लोगों को easy होता है,
हाँ, I'll put it here.
थ्री
because that is
पॉइंट
329
हाँ,
and
हाँ।
then you put the verse numbers. So 329, 28 to 32, huh?
I'll go through this, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, and this instructions by Kapil Muni is an amazing chapters actually. When you read, you feel like reading it 3-4 times. एक टाइम में पेट नहीं भरता हो, that तृप्ति नहीं मिलती.
पर प्रभु अब